Hello, everybody. Tuxedo T-shirt here. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're doing well. It's been a long time, folks. I apologize. As you know, this channel is in a state of let's call it what would be the right term for it? Let's say maybe a dormant uh, state of some kind. let's call it that. Needless to say, it's been a long time since my last upload. It will continue to be intermittent periods of time between uploads, and I thank you for sticking with me. I wanted to offer some new thoughts on Madden 19. Madden 19's been out for just under a month. I've been playing a lot of it, both on franchise and some online as well. I want to offer some thoughts. This is the, I think, fifth consecutive Madden I've played fairly extensively, or I guess very extensively. There are some modes that I've never really gotten into. I don't do the MUT. I've yet to do the story mode, the long shot that is included with this new Madden. But I love franchise. That's my bread and butter. It's been my bread and butter ever since I started playing Madden when I was a little kid, and some of the online stuff's been fine. So I want to start talking about the franchise stuff and the roster management stuff, because that to me is the best part of this game. One of the knocks on old Maddens was that the development for players just wasn't realistic, and that was fair because it was easy in many ways to take advantage of the system and to develop your players inordinately quickly. For example, one of my favorite things to do was you draft an offensive lineman with outstanding strength, and as long as their blocking is decent, you might pick them in the third round, let's say, out of a small school. Their awareness is 54, so they're only a 72 overall. Well, all of a sudden in one season, you can put their awareness from 54. As long as you put all your points into it, you have them as a weekly focused player, all that. Maybe even they have quick development or superstar. All of a sudden, they've got 85 awareness, and with the exact same skills across the board, that 73 overall guard is now an 89. And it's not realistic, really, that a player is going to go from 73, which is like a below average starter or a depth guy, to 89. And at 89, he's one of the best players in the league at his position. That's not realistic, and that's what most Maddens have been. And you can do that with lots of different positions. Another hack, some would use that term, I suppose, for quarterbacks, is to keep their awareness purposefully low, because anytime the quarterback has a football, you're utilizing that player. That's your user player, and so you're able to keep that awareness rating low, keep the overall rating low as a result, and then you re-up them to a contract before you upgrade that awareness at all, if you want to. I even know people who never upgrade the awareness on quarterbacks because they don't think it serves a purpose. I'm not sure if it serves a purpose. Personally, I don't worry about it a whole heck of a lot. This Madden, I really have come to like the way in which they force you to develop your players in a realistic way. And the way that it's done, for those who maybe haven't played the game or haven't gotten to franchise mode yet, the way that it's done is every player, every position has three different types, let's say. So, for instance, safety. I'm talking off the top of my head here. I don't have the game open in front of me, but I believe that the types are hard hitting. So that's your Cam Chancellor's a guy who's prowls the middle and makes receivers feel pain. You got your coverage guy. That's your pure speed guy who's going to roam the backfield and not necessarily make guys hurt, but make all of those phenomenal pass breakups and be able to run with anybody. And who would a good maybe a guy like Rod Woodson. This is going back to the '90s, but he was basically a pure coverage guy, and I believe he's in the Hall of Fame as a safety. And then you've got your hybrid, who I would say is maybe like an Ed Reed, a guy who can kind of do both. He's a coverage guy, but he can also be physical. He's part of that very physical Ravens defense from I was gonna say the early 2000s, but really for the entire time he was a Raven, close to 12 years, they were very physical. So, anyways, you can choose one of those three options, and each of those options will do a different thing for your player. So, for instance, if you're going hard hitting, obviously hit power is going to go up, tackling might go up, and there are still going to be some other things that might go up. You might get a +1 in zone coverage. You might get a +1 in man, but obviously you're not going to get nearly the boost that you get if you were upgrading coverage. the same way that if you upgrade coverage, you're not going to get a boost probably to your hit power, or if you do, it's only going to be 1 point. I like that because it allows you to kind of fit players into specific roles that you'd like them to fit. And if you want a guy to be well-rounded, you can feel free to upgrade all three as time goes on and you get more points. But the point is it prevents you from simply finding the one weak area of a player's game completely in just the span of one rookie season. Fixing that, exploding that one rating, and kind of throwing off the fairness of the game. I also like how under each player's rating page, and this might have been in the old Madden and I just overlooked it or I was forgetting, but regardless, this is a compliment for Madden 19. It shows you exactly what percentage the player is at as far as their overall rating compared to the rest of the league. So if you open, let's say you're using Washington and Brandon Scherf's your starting right guard. Well, I believe Brandon Scherf is the third best starting right guard in the league, and that says all you need to know about how great of a player he is. The overall rating scale has changed a little bit. I think players are a little bit lower generally in this game than in previous Maddens, at least in recent memory. But I like that it shows you percentage-wise. He's within the top whatever 2% of right guards in the league, and he's the third ranked overall. It's an easy way for just starting the game specifically to see. Because, for example, one of my franchises, my worst starting offensive lineman is only a 76, but he's still, I think, the 22nd best left guard in the game. Now, that's a position I'm trying to address. I'm only in the second season of that franchise. But still, it helps to know, okay, 76 rather, isn't totally pathetic. He's a below average starter. I want a guy who's 80 plus, but while 73 would be maybe my guess, this is off the top of my head, but maybe 40th best in the last game. It's not a totally pathetic number in this one. That's about where my praise for this game ends. And I wanted to start with the pros because for people who don't like this game or who do like this game, I don't want them to think I'm just completely crapping on it because that's not what I want to do. There are good parts to it, but there are a few things that drive me nuts. One, that this isn't a thing just for Madden 19. This is a problem dating back to Madden 18 and Madden 25 and a whole bunch of games. But the contracts don't make any sense. Actually, sorry, I shouldn't say that. Madden 25 contracts are fine. If a player comes to you asking, let's say $42 million, 10 of which is guaranteed over 6 years, and you offered them, $38 million with 9 guaranteed, they probably take that deal. Why? Because it's a negotiation. They're asking for a price, and you can choose to offer that if you really want to make sure you get them, but it's an asking price. It's not a demand. It's not this is what you have to sign me to, because that's not how negotiations work. Even at the pro rating, this is just negotiation, right? And there's a reason why these contracts take time to get done, and that's because it's not simply an agent saying my guy's worth this, and teams being like okay, or heck no, see you later. And that's not at all what's been represented in the last couple of Maddens, including this one. Contracts suck. Unless you offer exactly what they're asking for, they will turn it down. And the thing that I hate about this game in terms of franchise mode is you can offer what they want and they'll still say no. We are asking for $25 million over 4 years, 8 guaranteed. You say perfect. You offer it and they don't take it. Why would you ask for something if you're not going to take it? Man, that's frustrating. Let's get into the gameplay side of it, because ultimately I don't think I have anything good to say about the actual gameplay. The one piece of praise I think I'll give is, Madden 18, I think was a bit off in the way that it allowed ball carriers to simply dominate by changing direction super quick, right? You could turn on a dime and not lose any speed, and that's of course not realistic. And they've gone to great lengths to try to have realistic cuts in this game, and they try to force you to do that by timing, the left stick with the sprint or the speed boost. And I don't hate that as a mechanic. The problem is it's just not working well enough right now. There's too many times where as a ball carrier, you try to make a cut and your player just stands there. Alternatively, you can be a defensive player. You're trying to make a play on a running back, and you slash one way with the speed boost, and he just stands there. And I don't know if that's because you didn't time it 100% perfectly, but I've been playing this game a lot, and I've been playing Madden for a heck of a long time. I'm not saying I'm the greatest player on the planet, but I'm certainly at least good. I'm at least like a 7 out of 10 player in Madden. And if I can't do it with even some consistency by this point, I'm sorry, it's not me, it's the game. Because if I'm struggling with it, that means that millions of other people are struggling with it. I'm sure there are pros who can maybe get it every single time, but for those of us who don't have 10 hours a day to play Madden straight, yeah, it's not working. And in the online games I've played, I've yet to play against anybody where it's clear like, oh, this guy has or girl has really spent a lot of time mastering these mechanics. It's clear that everybody is struggling with them, and they suck. To be frank, I also hate just visually the way in which players look while they run. Every player in this game runs perfectly upright, and it's almost as if they're jogging at all times. Like my current franchise, I'm the Bengals. I'm rebuilding Cincinnati, and I have John Ross as a receiving back. I've moved him from wide receiver to a receiving back. He's not my starting running back. I have Tevin Coleman, who I traded for from the Falcons. He just signed a contract with them. I got him for 2 fourth-round picks and a backup center, which was a steal. So it's a great duo. Coleman is he's fast enough to break away runs, but he's that great every down back, and John Ross is arguably the best third down running back in the NFL, frankly, at least within the context of my game. He's got 98 speed. He's got 96 acceleration. He can catch anything you throw at him out of the backfield. And the problem is when he breaks a run, he still looks like he's jogging. He's got 98 speed, and he still looks like he's jogging. And that's infuriating because it lessens the energy of the game. It ruins the flow of the game to me, and that bothers me a great deal. I personally want players to look like they're running as fast as they can because they should be running as fast as they can. It's not rocket science. Players look like they're running too slow. I appreciate to an extent that it's harder to throw the football. And actually, I would say run the football as well in this new Madden. Running between the tackles is almost impossible. You have to bounce everything to the outside. Stretch plays, tosses are the only things that I've had any success at in terms of running the football, which sucks because I have always loved to run between the tackles. Maybe that makes me weird. Okay, it does make me weird, but I've always liked to run between the tackles, and that's impossible in this game. It's stretches and sweeps, and occasionally like you can go between the tackles as long as it's like a draw or maybe read option. But if you try to run anything that's called single back, I formation, whatever, between the tackles, it's going nowhere. Passing wise, I just take issue with how poorly quarterbacks throw the football. I in my current franchise, I have a rookie quarterback with above average accuracy and everything. He still throws several interceptions a game. Sometimes, of course, it's a bad decision by me. More than happy to admit when I make a lousy decision with the football, but so many missed throws. And we're playing on all Madden, so look, I get that the game has to throw extra obstacles at you if you're going to play it on the hardest setting. But if a receiver's wide open and I have a quarterback who can deliver the football effectively according to their ratings, it drives me nuts when 5 balls a game end up in the dirt. Maybe that's maybe that's just the settings we have, the sliders we have, but this game, much more so than any Madden I've played, has taken me way longer to get a hang of, and I would not yet say I have a hang of it. I would say I have maybe like a 30% grasp on it, and I'm starting to feel like that's the most grasp I'll ever have on it. Um, yeah, the vision. I can't. At the end of the day, I can't think of other than them clearly making an effort to make the running style of the one cut back more realistic. I can't think of a single positive thing to say on just about the physical gameplay of Madden 19. I like some of the changes they made with franchise, but the actual gameplay is, as far as I'm concerned, it's terrible. For me, it's like I would give it 2 bowls of cereal out of 10. It's bad. Um, do I regret buying it? I would say no at this point, only because I'm really enjoying again, building a team, which I think has always been my favorite part of Madden, and kind of doing that GM thing, and building a roster, and taking care of personnel. But if I was somebody who bought Madden exclusively to play online with people, or if I was somebody who had Madden to simply be a player, you can do the creative player mode. I would be very disappointed with this game, and I would want my money back. To be quite frank, I would go back to Madden 18 because I like the gameplay in Madden 18 just fine. And part of me feels bad because I'm on a, like we all are, we're on a consumer treadmill. It's no different than buying the latest iPhone. Is it really better than the old one? Answer's probably no. But yet we shell out $80 for this game every year. Um, when there's lots of opportunity with the old Madden games to find patches where people have created the new rosters. And so, if it weren't for playing online within, and this is within my franchise with a buddy who really happens to love Madden 19, we very much disagree on this game. I would probably go back to Madden 18 if it was just me playing offline. And in fact, I will probably do that within the next couple months. Is go back, and if I care to start a new franchise just by myself, then I will probably do that offline because it's better, to be frank, in almost every single way. And the other thing is, if you take these confines of the franchise mode in Madden 19 as far as player development goes, then you can actually emulate that all you want in an older Madden game. All you have to do is maybe more realistically upgrade things, and you can even do that if you want, as long as you're the commissioner. Do it manually. For example, in this game, and this I'll give props for one more thing in this game, and this has to do with player development. It doesn't have to do with gameplay because this gameplay sucks. But the ratings, for physical attributes like speed, acceleration, agility, strength, in old games were essentially impossible to upgrade unless you had tens of thousands of points, right? Like to upgrade awareness, you're spending, even to get like to 99 awareness, you're spending maybe 6,000 points. To upgrade speed from 91 to 92, you're paying like 40,000 points. It's ridiculous. And obviously, players at the professional level do in fact get stronger, do in fact get faster, do in fact get more agile. And so it only makes sense that those could be upgraded, and that is included in this game, which I really like. Obviously, a receiver should not go from 83 to 99 speed, but 83 to 86 by the time they're, say, 26 years old, I think is perfectly realistic, and that's something that this game allows you to do, where that old Madden's didn't. But again, if you like those elements of the game, you can easily take those backwards with you as long as you're willing to do it manually in Madden 18, and that's something that I might very well do. Anyways, guys, thanks as always for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts on the new Madden. If you want to drop a comment, if you want to drop a like, I would appreciate that. Again, I don't know when the next video. Actually, I do have an idea for a video I want to do in the very near future. I don't know when the next post will be after that, but bear with me, guys. It might be a month. It might be a year. I don't know. Just know, as always, I'm deeply appreciative of your support. And I haven't forgotten about you guys. Even if I go a long time without an upload, I still am indebted to each of you for watching my videos, and I'm just glad that you're still happy to click on them. That said, I'm Tuxedo T-shirt, and I'm out.